Come and watch me schedule over 1,000 Pinterest pins in less than an hour and turn this empty Tailwind schedule into a jam-packed organic Pinterest schedule. As you can see, I started at 5:09 p.m. and phase one is uploading my own fresh pins, which I've already created on Canva. And by the way, if my Tailwind looks a little bit different than yours, that's because I have the original publisher installed, which you can ask Tailwind to do too. So once the pins are uploaded, I then add my board first, and then I'm going to add in the group boards. That means that the 22 fresh pins that I'm uploading, if there's around 10 boards that they're going on, is actually going to come around 200 plus pins. Then after that, what you can see me doing here is copying over all of my optimized title and descriptions and URLs for each of my pins, which is linked into my blog posts. The next part is the interesting part. We're going to use the use interval feature on Tailwind. When you click this button, you first select the date that you want the very first pin to go out on. Then you can choose how many days you want in between each pin being repinned to the other boards. You can use the option to drag the bar across, or you can just type it in manually. So for this, I've set it to 10 days. Then I'm going to go down and I'm going to hit that optimize button. That's going to fill it into the most optimal spots in my schedule. And then you just click set interval, and then that will be scheduled out to go out on boards 10 days apart from each other. I then just go through and do this with each of these 22 pins I'm uploading. As you can see, that was the first batch of about 15. The schedule was looking a little bit sparse, I know. I'm just going to go and continue on uploading more pins in. And it's going to eventually fill them out, making sure that each time I always pin to my own board first before I then add in the group boards. And as you can see, I'm just optimizing them all again with the right keywords, descriptions, and setting the interval buttons. So I've scheduled them, but as you can see, the schedule to the right there was still looking quite sparse. So we're going to go into phase two. I'm going to go and repin my own pins from Pinterest. All these pins you can see here are pins I've pinned natively to Pinterest, and they've all gone on one board each. I now want to repin them using the Tailwind browser extension onto different group boards to get them much more traffic. So I click the Tailwind browser extension, and then as you can see here, I'm going through and selecting them one by one. Then I hit the schedule button that you see in the bottom right corner, and it will bring up this pop-up. I'm then going to put them on just group boards, not any of my boards, just group boards. Then I go and hit that schedule button up in the top right corner, and that's going to schedule them into my Tailwind schedule. But as you can see, there's a lot of the same pins going out on the same day, and we're going to come back to that in a minute and show you how to fix it. Right now, first, we're going into phase three. What I'm doing here is I'm going over to my own boards, clicking on more ideas and loading the page up so that I can do the same thing, because phase three is repinning other people's pins. Once I've loaded up a load of other people's pins onto a page, I hit the Tailwind browser extension and I do exactly what I just did for my own pins. The only difference is I'm going to pin these to my boards to pad them out. I do this a few times until I've got a couple of hundred pins of other people's pins on my Tailwind schedule. But as you can see here, everything is in the order that it was scheduled. So the fresh pins that I set intervals with are locked in place. And in between, the repins, which I didn't set intervals for, have just gone in the order that I've placed them there. So what we need to do now is shuffle them up. That's where this magical button comes in handy, the shuffle button, my favorite button. Click this and it will organically shuffle everything around apart from anything that's locked, which these set interval pins are. So now I have a Pinterest pin schedule that has my own fresh pins locked in place, and in between is padded out with other pins of mine and repins as well. I basically now have this beautiful, organic, jam-packed Pinterest schedule where I'm going to be driving traffic to my own links, but also have other people's pins in there. So completely organic and beautiful. Over 1,000 pins. And as you can see, I finished at 6:01 p.m., so less than an hour. If you want to learn more about getting started on Pinterest, go grab my Get Paid on Pinterest bundle or hit the premium services button by the link in my bio if you want to hire me as your Pinterest manager.